Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, Sam and I are going to take a vacation in October. I don't know where we're going. We were coming to see you to begin with,
Oh, I
but
knew.
she,
That's why I didn't get so bent out of shape. You keep bringing it up, and I'm like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
yeah, no, it's her. It's not me. She's bouncing. She says she wants to take a staycation, and I'm like, I don't want a staycation. I want to be active. What the
Well,
fuck is
the best,
staycation?
the
She's
best.
on staycation her whole life.
Well, you want a place where you can like power. When I went to Israel, that was a great vacation because you can power walk the boardwalk every day, twice a day. The sunset is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. If you go somewhere with a great beach and literally Miami's the place to go. That boardwalk there in South Beach on Ocean Boulevard is the ultimate place. I mean, it's really great. I love it there.
I've never, I only went to Key West once, and that was it. And I left Key West. I would like to experience Florida.
Well, if you want to go to South Beach, it's pretty affordable. I mean, because they have last minute reservations, and there's so many boutique hotels there that they're all competing on the same platform. So you can stay at one place or you can bounce around, but it's paradise. It's such a beach. It's so beautiful, and it's not expensive. Because it's not like you're staying at a resort. You're staying at a boutique hotel, a block, 2 blocks from the beach, and there's art stores everywhere, clothing stores. It's a beautiful little place. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I had new vanity tops put in. One is quartz and one is granite. Man, I'll tell you, when you put a set of vanity tops on, you like, whew, that is the coup d'etat for a bathroom. These beautiful vanity tops. And I had a guy raise both of them up. One guy did one and another guy did the other, but by raising them up 4 inches, now they are the room's highlight. Very nice. And I did save myself thousands. One guy wanted $6,000 to build 2 new vanities. $6,000. And then the other guy, he wanted 4. I said, I'm good. I'll just pay somebody to raise them up. They raised them up from the top, not from the bottom, so they didn't have to leave the house at all. How do you like that? Guess you don't care.
Well, I'm looking forward to the day when I talk to you on the phone and you're not actually working on your house, and that you're
Who
like,
else would be doing the work? I didn't buy a house that was ready to live in, It was in its 50-year original condition. It was, as you saw it was pretty beat up.
I would have done the bare minimum, and made it as nice as I could for the smallest amount of money and just live there with the old shit. I could give two shits about new shit. If it works, I mean it's my financial position, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean that's where I'm at. I mean I understand you got different standards and you're making an
How,
investment really, but at the end of the day,
how
you
much is your building appreciated in 3 years?
100,000.
Yeah, mine too. Sure does seem easy to make money, doesn't it? Buying real estate.
It's not. It takes a lot of work. It's real
Well, they
work.
do, but they did. Well, you haven't done 100,000 on your building,
What
and
I'm
it's
what I'm saying is everybody who buys real estate and also trades in the stock market, they always say, "Shit, should have just left it all in the stock market."
nah. I think real estate's the better gain, or you get a place to live. All it costs is what it is on an annual tax basis. Well, that's if you own it.
But see,
There's the
everybody,
big difference.
yeah, everybody needs a place to live. So that's like the one thing in life. It's the box. There's three main boxes: the house you live in, your dome or your brain, and then maybe that chrome. But it's like a theory of box. I mean, the house is the fundamental. It's really what everybody wants and needs, but because of property taxes, it drains a significant amount of your savings over the course of your life. I mean, the property
Yeah, it
tax,
does.
yeah, the property tax is basically what keeps us perpetually working in this country.
Mhm. Well, I agree with you there. Um, that's where my savings. Well, of course, I get that Social Security and pension. Hopefully, those stay intact. And 1 month pays a couple thousand, and then I need half of another month to pay my property taxes. So that's not too bad. But they go up every damn year.
Well, when you decide to sell that place, you can live downstairs in a big 3 bedroom, 1 bath, and pay no more property taxes.
That'd be nice. But then I'd have to pay $1,800 a month, and that adds up to more than property taxes.
No,
By far more.
no, I would charge you the lowest rent possible, and then you just get groceries and do cooking. I'll just eat off of you, and you'll do all the good cooking later. That'll be the tax. You have to do all the cooking.
That's funny. And clean the home.
Because if I get a girl pregnant and we get married,
Oh, don't do that.
and I have a kid, you're gonna have to cook some baby food,
Don't do that. You want another John Kitover running around out there? That's funny.
So I have survivor benefits with this property. So if I get married, a woman gets to live here the rest of her life tax free. Plus, my children get educational benefits from the VA, and my wife gets health care benefits from the VA because I at that 100% certification. It extends to your couple and your children. So it's a big benefit because you're talking people are spending 30, 40,000 a year on health insurance later on in life. Like over the course of my life, the government will have given me millions of dollars if I live a full life.
If you live a full life, you should.
Yeah.
No reason why not.
But that's the thing about the national debt. It's at 40 trillion, so they're expecting the population to put forth the best effort possible to pay down this debt. And a lot of people are never even going to collect their pensions because they die prematurely. If they don't have survivor benefits, the wife, that your whole life of paying into the pension, you get nothing because you died and you have no wife. There's no.
That's what it pays if you're getting a decent amount each month. It's worth taking care of yourself because there's nothing like getting free money dropped into your checking account. It's unreal, really.
Well, if I get married, it's a good benefit for the woman. I mean, you have to meet a guy who essentially can earn, 10,000 a month to compete with my smaller amount because you no longer have to pay for health insurance or property taxes for the rest of your life. Like that's an incredible benefit that extends, from the marriage contract.
I don't know. Marriages are shot in the dark.
Well,
and patience has to be on
that's the thing. It's like
duty at all times.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, if you can form a union, there's benefits to that union for the person coming into the partnership. It goes both ways, but I'm just saying that it's interesting how all these benefits are tied into your marriage contract and whether or not you have children. Because if I have children, the benefit amount goes up monthly by like 200 to 400 a kid. So it's like, it's just interesting how the government will support you if you are married and have children. They'll give you more.
Don't forget the factor of the other party's personality.
No, that's the whole thing. If you two don't get along, there's no reason to get married. You're crazy.
Yeah, I would even say it takes 5 years to make that determination. I wouldn't get married any sooner than after 5 years.
Well, when
Because
Bart,
you know what? As people mature, also, that's a lot of reason people bust out of marriages. Is one's maturing in a different at a different rate, and then seeks other hobby type things.
mm-hmm.
If you don't have another party that's into your hobbies, like Samantha has integrated into his hobby,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Samantha would be doing other than walking her dogs because she's not a hobby person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's like your partner isn't the hobby. It's the hobbies of the partner. Um, but listen, marriage is not easy because if you didn't go into the marriage, basically like a monk, you go to a monastery and you learn how to sit in silence and not be reactive. Too many people are so highly reactive. Instead of creating a love soup, you create, a grease fire. And that's the big difference is some people are road ragers and some people just are really dedicated to creating peace in their life with their partner. You can be conscious of it or you can essentially stick your ass in a river and try to catch fish to find the peace. I don't know, people have different methods.
Oh yeah, that's why just having a girlfriend is fine. Don't you think? You don't need to share your benefits. The girl doesn't even need to know what the options are for her. What's
No,
the point? Somebody
I
else kicking money in? That's the only thing I could see.
no, this is just me kicking rocks. I'm just bringing up the thought that like finding a woman who we can actually really pair and bond and unite, it's not happening for me. I mean, I've had a lot of girlfriends and I have nothing in my hands now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like stressed out about it. I'm just merely observing. Making observations.
I got a one time somebody was looking. He was close by. He placed an ad. He owned a radio station. He's got 7 antennas up on Sandia Crest. And so I respond and I said, I would be around the duck pond and I'll have a straw floppy hat on and a dress. So that kind of made it intriguingly exciting, right? So he showed up with his dog, and I don't know if it was the same day or another day. I went over to his house once I told him what I do, and so he asked me all kinds of questions. Then I went hiking with him and his dog, and he got free coupons being a advertiser on his radio station for all these restaurants. So we started going to the restaurants, eating free, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that kind of food, it's all that restaurant shit. And my pants were loaded with dog hair. His car was a disaster, a real slob. As a matter of fact, this house was a slobby thing. Anyway, I didn't care to keep going out with them. But that was one way to promote a meeting. You don't have to go out to dinner. I'd be damned if I was paying for somebody else's dinner just to see if I could get some sex out of it. If I don't even like the person or the person doesn't like me on a walk, they're not going to want to walk with me again. Didn't cost either one of us any money.
Well, I look at it as like as a perspective of somebody who, if I take a woman out on a date, I wouldn't expect her to pay for the dinner because in a way I'm paying for the presence of that person. If they offer, well, then they've proven, that they're not pieces of shit, or they're saying, I'm not interested in you, let me pay half. But at the same time, I'm just like, I came here expecting to pay for you. Therefore, this is really just like a job interview. Like, are
Yeah,
we,
but why do you gotta pay for a meal? Those aren't cheap out there. Plus, you gotta pay a tip. It doesn't mean that girl's gonna like you because you paid for her meal.
well, see, the point is, I'm of that. I just really don't care either way. It's like I'm I'm two steps ahead of them on the bargain because if they're really not authentic people, I'm trying to filter. Like, are you an actual real person or are you just a superficial, egotistical, narcissistic person here for a free dinner because you're actually just enjoy getting free shit? Is that you?
That's because she thinks she's pretty.
Well,
I
yeah.
say if you can go on a walk and talk and want to go back for another walk and talk, you're being authentic. If you're doing it the other way by offering out a free meal, you're looking for sex. Yeah, me.
As the man?
Huh?
Well, I think that's the thing about summertime now is I can say, hey, just meet me down at Montrose Harbor and we'll go for a power walk around the beach, and then and then if we like each other, then maybe I'd consider buying a drink or a lunch.
Coffee. No, just coffee.
Just coffee.
Coffee $6 or whatever. I've never bought coffee yet. So even if it's $7, you don't know anybody anything. Or you can buy an ice cream if the ice cream cart is out.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
Yeah. Just a couple
in the
bucks.
beginning.
Just a couple bucks. That's it. I'm not willing to spend more than $5 on you to meet you.
Right. That's all you need to spend. Not even have to.
Even $5 is too much.
Yeah. I've been on enough outings with gentlemen that you see one near my size? No. Because they just don't cut it. They don't exercise, they drink too much, they eat shitty food, they don't hike.
Well, I don't know if you're...
They just don't do the kinds of things that I've, in 71 years, I've done a lot.
Well,
I don't know what works for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's your spring, it's your summer. I mean, be like a bird and fly.
Right.
Or be like a flower and sit in the sun. I mean, it's 2025, Trump is the president. Did you hear that Trump might, I don't know if this is true or not, but Trump may accept an offer to rejoin the United Kingdom in the Commonwealth?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but I was talking to some people about it. It sounds like could be possible, in meaning that the King of England is like secretly trying to win some kind of old long chess game and get the country back or something.
He's throwing so much out there just to see what'll stick.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing all the thinking, the possible actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's experimenting.
Maybe trying to cover too much where the coverage needs to be right in our own territory, like education. We need scientists and folks that can get our best for our buck. We need these people educated, so we got to give it to them with some assistance. Where he's trimming fat, he needs to put the money that he's saving back into our country's best actions, where we need it the most. And I'd say that's in our people. What do you think of that?
Yeah, people need money, and jobs creating jobs overseas outside of this country for other people is the problem. Is that's what we're doing. We're not giving the money to ourselves. We're shipping it overseas to other people. We need to redirect the money internally, but the problem is we're so bankrupt. How can we afford to pay ourselves when we got to pay the debt down and pay the interest on the debt? We have fucked ourselves.
Well, that is what we're trying to do.
This country has sold itself out a long time ago.
Cut down on the fat that's spent wastefully. There it went.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Trump has a tall order.
I've got to get to my staining table. I'm planning to accomplish that today.
Okay, have a great day. Take care. Love you, Mom.
Okay, thanks, Johnny. Love you too.
Okay, take
Bye
care.
now.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, that was nice. Kept that pretty nice, I think you could say. Let's call the deep state.
Hi, this is Scott. I can't take your call right now.
Deep state.
For those people, and that seems like perfectly consistent with the kind of state that, in their pursuit of ethnic cleansing the land, while the Palestinians do remain in the land, mistreating them systemically. Stop! Don't keep scaring me, please, someone.
You have the power.
Oh, do I? Oh,
I did it right.
Nice. It's like, doesn't it just seem more reasonable to think like, okay, rather than all of these people getting it so wrong, all of these these are the best candidates we have for kind of neutral evaluators of this situation. All of them getting it wrong, all of them either colluding to disparage Israel or whatever. It's like, all just like the people doing bad things are also bad with respect to how they maintain their state. What just seems more like,
possibilities that they're all objective, and I wouldn't agree that I'm not claiming that they're making like some huge mistake, like the truth is like totally diametrically opposite of what they're saying. No, like they're generally in the right direction. They just hyperbolize stuff a bit, which I think gets them into incorrect statements.
What? So you think that it's hyperbole when they claim apartheid? Every one of these human rights organizations is just using hyperbole?
No, I didn't say that they consciously are using hyperbole. I would say their claims are explainable as like.
Way, but okay.
Zeleny, have you been to Palestine? Have you been to Israel, Palestine? Have you been to I'm sorry, what was that?
No.
Okay, well, what do you call separate roads for Arabs and Jews?
I don't know, it depends on the example.
So what do you mean depends on the example? I just gave you an example. This is an example. This is an instantiation of an apartheid policy. Separate roads for Arabs and Jews. What?
Yes, are the separate roads in the West Bank?
Yeah, sure. They're in the West Bank.
Okay,
what do you think
so
of
it's not
separate roads for Arabs?
apartheid. So it's not apartheid.
No, it is. No,
What? Please explain that.
No,
It's
like
not.
apartheid.
You animals, hold on. So I'm gonna make this between who just spoke, was it Yoko?
It's Yoko, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And then Yoko and Zeleny.
Yoko and Zeleny, nobody else.
No, that's all right. I mean, Zeleny, what is it about the West Bank that makes it okay for there to be separate roads based on ethnicity?
That it's a disputed territory, or at best like occupied territory. So
Yeah, exactly.
in my conceptualization
Exactly. You know what? Go ahead, Zeleny. Go ahead.
in my understanding of what an apartheid is, it's a a type of arrangement in a country or a state where it internally has discriminatory laws that disprivilege like certain groups of people amongst its citizenry, or give someone like second-class citizen status or like non-citizen status. This understanding that I have, that I think is the legal understanding, does not include like obviously examples where a state treats people worse than it treats its own citizens when they are like non-citizens in a territory that is not part of that state.
Okay, so back up for a second. Let's go back to 1930s United States, okay? Like, let's go back to 1920s, 1930s, 1940s United States, okay? If I were to take you back there and you were to see Black people being allowed to drink water from designated fountains only, go to the bathroom in designated bathrooms only, ride designated seats on designated buses, and if you were to witness one law for white people and one law for Black people, would you call that apartheid?
Sure.
Okay, well, this is an instance where you don't actually have a concept of citizenship for Black people. They are just being controlled by the white folk who had technology that enabled them to bring them as slaves in chains from one part of the world to one part of the world, and put them to work building the country that would become the United States on the land that belonged to another people that were virtually wiped out by this very same white people who came over. So if we can agree that Jim Crow situation passes for apartheid, and if I can now fast forward with you to like
white folk, white people, white folk, white people, white folk, white people.
1980s South Africa, and I were to point out to you that there was one law for white people and one law for African people, for Black African people, would you then call that apartheid?
Of course, that's what the term originally refers to.
Fantastic. So far we've established that apartheid exists in a situation where one party is deciding who is a citizen and who isn't, and then is proceeding to control the non-citizen population through a separate set of laws. So why is it that when I talk about the West Bank, I mean, I'm not just talking about the West Bank, but let's just take this as an example, right? Why is it that you